Hi guys, it's Jeff from Focus on Marketing. This is the second video that I'm doing about wedding photography, and what I want to cover in this video is the sort of kit you need to be a wedding photographer. Now, if you're just starting out in wedding photography, there's a lot of groups out there on Facebook, and unfortunately a lot of these groups are filled with pin in the backside type of wedding photographers who love to boast about themselves, talk about the latest kit they've got, how absolutely amazing they are, and put everybody else down and tell you that you don't have the right kit for the job. You know, that you can only take a wedding if you've got the latest Canon, Mark, whatever, or top of the range Nikon, and you can only use prime lenses if you're doing a wedding. And to be honest, I think that's just a load of bull. It's rubbish. I've done, by next year I will have photographed over 800 weddings. That's 2019. I'll have halfway through the year I will have done my 800th wedding, and I've never ever had a top of the range camera. And the reason being is I don't think you need one. There's no need for it. You know, if I'm running a business, I've had 5 very successful wedding photography businesses. I've employed up to 7 photographers, 2 makeup artists, and a guy who dealt purely with the marketing and sales calls. And the only reason we've managed to build up a really successful business is and enjoy the profits from a very successful business is because we haven't just wasted loads and loads of money on pointless kit that we don't need. There's an old saying there. Years ago actually, I used to have a fishing tackle shop, and the rep used to come in the fishing tackle shop and said, there's more stuff in this shop to catch the fishermen than there is to catch the fish. You only need a hook and line to catch a fish. You don't need all this technical stuff and all these different types of rods and everything like that. And that's very similar with wedding photography as well, or any form of photography. I think cameras probably peaked about, in my mind personally, about 4 or 5 years ago. That, you know, the cameras are getting produced now that'll have so many thousands of colour variations, more than the human eye can see. The extremely huge amounts of megapixels, which is absolutely pointless waste of time for wedding photographers. There's no need. You're never going to use that. You're never going to need that resolution. Most brides are going to get an A4, A3 album, and then maybe at the biggest, a 30-inch canvas to stick on the wall in their living room or sitting room or somewhere like that. So she's not going to get a big picture put up on the side of a billboard. She's not going to have a huge logo with her wedding pictures on the side of a big truck. So you don't need it. To be a wedding photographer, you don't need top of the range gear. And I still don't use top of the range gear. I use mid-range. I always use Canon because I've used Canon all my life. But I use mid-range cameras. When I first started out, I went to sort of like the lower to mid-range end, and I started out and I bought one camera body, and then I bought the same again, but I bought that one second hand. So that's what I'd recommend doing, buying 2 cameras. Don't overstretch yourself and go for a top of the range camera. Go for a sort of low to mid priced camera, and then get a brand new one that's got a full manufacturer's guarantee, and then if you can, get a second one exactly the same. Maybe get it off eBay, or quite often camera shops and some of these online camera stores will sell good second-hand cameras that come with maybe a 6-month guarantee. Now the reason behind that is one day your camera will pack up, and I've had that happen to me about, oh God knows, 10 times or so, but only about 3 or 4 times actually on a wedding shoot. I've had it happen a lot of time in the studio, when we're doing portraits and boudoir. Now the last thing you want to be doing is panicking and worrying about your camera kit when you're in the middle of a wedding. So what I do is I always have my second camera, which is exactly the same as my main camera, backed up with the flash card in there, batteries fully charged, all ready to go, and all I've got to do is get that one out of the bag, switch the lenses over. It might already have a flash on, or put the other flash on it, and then that's it. I can crack on taking the rest of the pictures of the wedding, and then sort the other camera out when I get back home. So if something goes wrong, I check the batteries. If the batteries are fully charged, but you know, if I put new batteries in and it's still not working, then I just pick out my next camera, my backup camera. And the reason I always have a camera exactly the same is, what will happen is you'll be using the same camera for maybe 2 or 3 months. It could be 6, 7 months, and you never touch your backup camera. Then the day it comes that your main camera packs up, the last thing you want to do if you're halfway through a wedding shoot is try and remember how your backup camera worked, because its functions might be slightly different than your main camera if it's not exactly the same model. So you don't want to be messing around thinking about that. How do I change the aperture? How do you change the exposure compensation? You want to go to using exactly the same thing that you were just using 5 minutes ago. So I would say, yeah, one new mid-price camera, and then your other camera, a second-hand version of exactly the same model. Then when it comes to lenses, ideally you're going to need 2 lenses, because you're going to need your main lens and a backup lens. And it's good to have a range of lenses, but you don't need that immediately, and you don't need just prime lenses. I've heard loads of people talking about that. Again, I think that's a load of rubbish. You know, as long as you can get what you can afford, but don't overspend. It's much better to get the kit that you need to do your job, but still have some money to go out and get some marketing done, because it's going to be essential that you market your business and not spend all your money just on kit. It's marketing that's going to bring you the customers. It's marketing that's going to bring you the money in, not fancy flashy cameras. So you can always start to increase your kit as you start to make a bit more money, but there's no need to go and change your cameras when you've made yourself, you know, 10,000–20,000 pounds. Those cameras will probably last you about 3 or 4 years. So stay with them, then upgrade when you've got a good bit of money behind. Build your business up, get an awesome, fantastic brand going, and don't be tempted to waste all your profits on kit that you don't need. So 2 or 3 lenses. It's sometimes nice to have like a really, you know, a wide angle lens, a good wide angle lens to use for doing some really creative shots, but it's not a necessity when you're first starting out. And then again, I would say 2 flash guns. Now again, you can use exactly the same idea with your hot shoe flashes, is have your main flash, they're branded to the type that you have camera, so you can have a Canon flash, dedicated flash, you can have a Nikon dedicated flash. And then for your backup one, if it's just going to purely be a backup and sit there in your bag, then get the Sigma alternative. It's probably about half the price or a third of the price cheaper. With regards to tripods, I personally never use one. I don't like them. Not for weddings. I find that it slows me down and it gets in the way, and I'm always forgetting where I put it anyway. So cameras now, they've got good enough image quality on the ISO, even in low level light, where you don't really need a tripod anyway. But again, that's purely preference. If you aren't using a tripod, then by all means go ahead and get yourself a tripod or a monopod. But I personally don't use one, and I have all my kit in a low pro backpack, because I prefer the backpack than the big heavy camera bag. I always used to find that the big heavy camera bag, the handles would start to go and the bag would wear away because of all the weight of all the kit. Where the rucksack, I can just chuck it over my shoulder, even if I'm just wearing a suit, you know, wedding suit, and fling it over the shoulder. And I usually tend to put my bag somewhere close to me. So if I'm working in the venue, I'll stick it under one of the tables. If I'm in the church, I'll put it at the back of the church where I am. And then if I go out with the bride and groom, I might just take the one lens and the camera, stick a wide angle lens in my pocket, and leave the bag in the boot of the car. So it's there if I need it. I like to move fast, I like to move about. I don't like carrying bags, and I don't like carrying tripods. And it leaves your hands free for helping the bride with her dress and stuff like that. So really, you know, get what you feel comfortable with. Don't bow to peer pressure. Don't believe what people say that you need this particular kit and this need your particular lenses and stuff like that, because you don't. Basically, you don't, and you don't want to be spending a lot of money on stuff that you don't need. You know, because anybody who says that in a group, and anybody who puts you down, well, I don't think they're a very good photographer, and I don't think they're very supportive of you if this is what you're trying to get into. And I've made a lot of money. As I say, I will have done over 800 weddings by 2019, and I would never tell anybody that they've got to go out and they've got to get the best kit. It's much better that you get your money spent on your marketing, because that's what's going to give you the return in money. And then in years to come, if you get loads of money in and you really, really want to treat yourself, and that's what you want, you know, well, go ahead and buy it. Why not? You deserve it. Well, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks very much.